And yes, we're live. I'll just wait for a minute or so for some people to come and join in. I'm sure they'll be here in a moment. In the meantime, I'm gonna, do we like the colors? Do we want to go with brown or do we want to go with purple? I like
I
purple.
like purple.
Purple is good. Purple is
Yeah,
good.
it's on brand also for IVX.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, some people are joining in. BM, how is it going, Migs? Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Weekly Vol. It's another day, another Friday, a green day in the market as well, which I think everyone is enjoying. How's it going, people? Hope your Friday is doing well. Today, we are joined by a very, very special guest. We're joined by Ika from Cave. So, pleasure to have you here today, sir. I think we've all been massive fans of everything that you guys have been doing at Cave. And I think it's awesome to have you on the show as well. So first of all, how are you doing?
Great, great. Thanks for having me. Same likewise. We've been very, very fan of everything IVX has been doing, and obviously everything is looking great these days with Bera pumping, the whole ecosystem pumping, and the overall market actually going way better than a few days ago. So yeah, very excited about what's gonna happen in the next days, weeks, and also whether it's for the crypto market as a whole or for Berachain especially.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you new here, we're here from IVX. My name is Waj. I'm joined today by my co-host Mo. How's it going, sir?
It's all good. It's all good. The markets are pumping, so everything is going good for me.
Awesome. And to the people that are joining right now, I see lots of people. Hello. Timmy seems to be very excited about Cave as well. So awesome to have everyone in. Already seeing lots of people joining in. So yeah, good to see. Good to see. Right. Okay. First things first. Let's talk about what's been going on in the markets. We want to talk about kind of the action, and I think there's no better place to start than maybe to talk a little bit about Bitcoin first, because it's the elephant in the room. We'll definitely be talking about Bera. We'll definitely be talking about all of your questions that you have regarding Bera and the Bera ecosystem. So we'll cover that for sure. But I think let's start off by looking at Bitcoin for a little bit first. I'm going to pull up the chart here, and I think just kind of seeing what's been interesting from last week. We've One thing that we mentioned last week is that we were basically the whole of February just trading in this little range, and as of basically today, we've actually broken out of this range that we were in, literally from the 2nd of February. And what's the date today? Is it like the 21st of February or something today? So for like 20 days, 3 weeks, we've just been up, down in this little range between like 92 and 98. And finally, we're breaking out. Mo, what do you think about this one?
I'm very excited for what's coming next. I think Bitcoin will potentially keep going after its breakout. I think 103K is on the cards, like the top end of the range.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this will be overall very good for the entire crypto market.
And how about for you, Ika? Have you been trading Bitcoin or do you hold Bitcoin spot? Is it something that you've been looking at yourself recently?
I don't really. I'm just trying to pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing regarding the overall market.
Yeah.
It's obviously it indicates the direction of the overall market. But no, I don't really trade Bitcoin. I have some Bitcoin, but it's really like yeah, like just passive Bitcoin. I'm not also trading to do any DeFi. But obviously, as you're saying, like Bitcoin just like do a plus 5% and then everything like rises with it. So that's what I'm paying attention regarding BTC.
Yeah, and I guess because Bitcoin's been going up, Bera's been going up a lot more than that as well, which has been really nice to see, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Um,
been way stronger than
Yeah, and what was very very cool to see is like Berachain started to pump way. I mean, before Bitcoin started to
mhm.
rise a
exactly.
bit, so it
That was
showed
a
that.
very good sign.
Yeah, it showed a very very strong strength while the whole market was dipping. Berachain was consolidating at the five-ish dollars, and so that was a very very interesting trade to be made. I think a lot of people from Berachain started to go long on IVX, and then it kept on rising with other altcoins. And maybe it's a discussion. I don't know if you saw this discussion, but people starting to have hope about a potential out season, because there was also hype from Story Protocol pumping,
Yeah.
Kaito, etc. So very, very, very greenish days right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. And I think you made a
and
really good point. Go ahead,
and
Mo.
you want to be looking at the alts that are performing well when everything is like going sideways, and IP, Bera, Aptos, like Sonic, these were doing well. So these are very good strength signs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. One thing that I found quite interesting was just looking at this actually, which was just seeing like a lot of people getting liquidated on their bearish short, Bitcoin shorts, ETH shorts, like a lot of people getting liquidated here. I mean, just look at like how many people in the last 12 hours, like liquidation wise, like the shorts are getting wrecked here. I mean, I find it somewhat surprising that people are like shorting the market so much, and causing the funding rates to go so negative across the board as well. I mean, I haven't seen negative funding rates across the board for a long time. I mean, I think actually, Mo, since we've been doing the weekly vault, this is the first time that I've seen like consistently negative funding rates across all assets.
Yeah, the
Across
last
the
time
board.
this has happened was probably in August when the carry trade happened and there was big liquidations and Bitcoin went to 50K and all this stuff.
And the crazy thing is, like, you can just open up 1x long positions on all of your spot assets, and just earn a lot from the funding rates. I think we've seen on IVX the funding rates have been pretty wild over the last few days, where you can just simply open up a 1x long, and it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down. Like you're not using that much leverage, and yeah, it's been pretty crazy over the last few days per se, on Bearer especially.
Yeah, I think the past token launches were kind of becoming an obvious trade. Like everybody was just max shorting every tokens. Whether it's Berachain, Story Protocol, and I think it's also like all these shorts got kind of punished. And especially with the very last launch, which is Kaito. Everybody was saying like, I'm gonna dump my allocation, which I personally did, and I'm gonna short it, and then they got liquidated. So I think as we're saying, like old crypto saying, when a trade become like consensus, you need to, usually it's not the time to trade it anymore. So the strategy of shorting everything seems to not be paying off for the shorters. So I think that's also played a part in seeing the huge weeks, green weeks on Story Protocol, Berachain, and Kaito.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we should have a look at some of them as well. Which one should we look at first? Obviously, there's only one answer, right?
Yeah, I mean, Bera first.
Let's look at Barra first. Okay. Let's pull up the chart and have a look at Barra, and like maybe we can talk about what we think about it. Okay, here we go. So here's the Binance chart. You can see on the top we're gonna fill the wick eventually. What's that? $15. Okay, but we're in the middle now. Okay, now last week when we talked, we were in this range. We talked about how we were kind of going kind of a little bit kind of upwards and small uptrending, and then we broke through. Finally, it's like $6. I think $6 hell we were like stuck in for a while, and then after that, man, the last couple of days have been incredible, going to $9 yesterday. I see ourselves like be consolidating in this little range here between like call it 9 and maybe 7. Like in this range I feel like we're going to be for a while until we break this one. But talk me through, like, both of you, like the strategies that you're doing right now with your bearer. Are you kind of spot? Are you doing DeFi strategies? Are you using leverage? What are maybe a combination of them all? Maybe Ika, you want to go first, and then Mo afterwards.
Yeah, so basically, as you were saying, we saw like this long consolidation below 6, and so I started going long there through IVX, and to put a small leverage, so 2x leverage, and yeah, I think I'm holding this trade because I think when you look at the chart, you may think, okay, huge pump time to take profit, but I think we're still very undervalued I mean, because we're all very bullish on Berachain, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm still holding my trade. And I also actually opened a spot, another trade today, but without leverage because just the APR are so juicy. So I saw something like 300% on IVX yesterday. So I was like, holy shit. So I just converted some barrels to only to open a trade this way. And also, yeah, I'm doing some dolomite, you know, like putting some barrels into dolomite to borrow some ETH to open LPs on Berachain Hub. Whether it's a bit on infrared, a bit on Berachain Hub to get some BGT and EBGT. So I'm doing the two strategies. I think so far the APIs are very cool everywhere. I'm like yeah, low risk, so I'm very careful on my ratio. I don't go like completely crazy. Who knows that if Berachain goes back to 6, etc., or even 5, you know, if Bitcoin goes very low, which I don't really expect, but yeah, that's my strategy so far: low risk, DeFi, and trading with small leverage.
Yeah, I think I have a very similar strategy on my side. Mo, what are you doing with like in terms of your Bero? Spot, leverage, like maybe some DeFi strategies, combination of them all. What's working well for you right now?
Yeah, so first of all, I have a decent sized spot bag, like the one I got from the testnet airdrop, RFA, and the socials airdrop. So I kept it aside,
Hmm.
and I won't be touching it until Bitcoin is like 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion FTV. But I had some stables aside, and I actually opened up a very decent sized Bera long around 5.7. And I think, Waj, you and I shared it in the IVX Discord.
Yep, yep. I remember it was just around here, literally
Yeah,
just before.
exactly here.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, so it paid very well. It paid with profits and with funding fees. Uh, and yeah, I actually took profit though. I took profit not because I'm bearish or I think like it's going down, but because I plan to rebuy if it dips. So hopefully, if it dips, I'll be loading a very big sized long on IVX. But other than that, I'm not touching my spot beta.
yeah. Fine, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
I think it
Yeah,
went up like 80%.
Barra did from 5.7. Let's measure it properly. Right now it's 43, but yeah, it did go up to 60% on the top.
Yeah, I took profit a little bit early, a
Yeah,
little bit earlier than I should, but yeah, it's no problem. Profit is profit, and I'll
exactly.
relong if I see it below like around 7.5 maybe or 7.
Hmm. Fine, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. So, Ike, you mentioned, a few different strategies there, kind of with the funding rates on IVX, but also like some of the interesting things that you can do on Dolomite as well. Right now, I saw the yields being, almost 40%. And that's really just because, for some reason, there still is a lot of short pressure on Bera. And so, what a lot of people seem to be doing is they seem to be borrowing Bera. It could be, I think this could be from people looking to hedge their positions, but it looks like some people are borrowing Bera on Dolomite, and this is causing the lending rate to go up significantly, which is why we see it at 36%. Like, I'll just share the screen here. Why, 36% is absolutely crazy, much higher than any of the LST APRs on the chain right now. I think all of this is coming from the borrow demand right now, and yeah, it looks like lots of people are capitalizing on it because you can see that there's a million bearer left, so that people can supply, and yeah, somehow the APY is still sustaining really high, which I find really interesting. I think in due time this will come down and probably will settle single digits in due time. But I guess for now, whilst there's this much demand, enjoy those juicy yields, right?
Yeah, I think it went even like to 72% yesterday, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
was crazy. And you know, we all know the APIs are gonna go down at some point on all dApps, but at the same time we have RFA coming, you know, and so I think they will compensate to some extent to be determined, but I think we will still have some very very nice juicy APIs, whether it's with the current ones, with RFA, with BGTs. There's still, and that's why also I'm still, if you remove the fact that we're all bullish on Berachain, you can see on the short term a lot of catalysts for Berachain. Whether it's dApps allocating RFAs, whether it is again BGT starting to open new vaults. So yeah, that's why I think it will be very very cool to see how it will all evolve regarding all those APIs. But so far, I'm very confident in my positions. And what's funny is like when you have all these LPs open, you're not even you're a bit sad when it pumps too much. You're like, just calm down, wait a bit. Let me enjoy my APIs. You have time, bruh, to learn to pump. So even whether it's keep like having a run to the upside, or whether it's consolidate for weeks, in both situation, I'm happy. So I think that's the best situation to be in right now for us. um, Especially that when I think a lot of people were surprised, a bit disappointed by the launch or the FDV, but it's also the best situation for a DeFi, for a chain which is a lot about DeFi, because then everybody has the time to open their position, to start doing lending with low risk. Whether if we started very high, that would be way riskier for everybody to position themselves. So yeah, I think that's very cool, because everybody has the opportunity to position themselves on Berachain the way they want, whether it's through DeFi trades, etc., in a very, I would say, comfy situation. Like I'm not stressed at all about my position right now. So that's very cool to be in this kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think some of the recent launches. I think we touched upon this earlier, but some of the recent launches have been really, really, really good. I thought it would be nice to just quickly touch upon some of those other token launches. So, I mean, we had a Story Protocol, which I think kind of really surprised me. If I'm being honest, I didn't expect to see this kind of chart. If I'm being honest with you, but I mean, the market's the market, right? I mean, lots of us, especially if you were yapping on and managed to get some good Kaito points, I think you probably were eligible for some sort of airdrop here. And that yesterday, the squeeze all the way up to $9 was absolutely crazy. Looks like there was some big liquidations there, and that's kind of what caused it. I think you can see that, especially so if you look at the liquidation heat map, where you can see IP having probably some of the biggest liquidations behind BTC and ETH. So yeah, I thought this was really interesting. But yeah, I mean, this has performed amazing. I mean, if you bought this at the bottom, we were talking 550% ROI there, which has been insane to think. I didn't think that it would squeeze this much at all. What did you guys do with your IP? Did you? I think most people converted it into Bera, but did you guys do that, or did you trade it, or what did you do?
Yes, that's exactly what I did. I just swapped at the very bottom, and it's not even that I don't like. I actually really like what they're building. Like it's a very like completely different offers than Brachen. On IPs, on more like I would even more compare it to Anime Chain from Azuki, because it's with a very consumer crypto center in
Mm,
some way, because it's about IPs, etc., and also with this AI narrative. So I think it will run decently because of this AI narrative, and I think the team, so from what I saw, seems to be genuine and hardworking. um I didn't expect such a pump neither. I saw a lot of comments, whether it's actually on IP but also on Berachain. Everybody has been flooding to both chains by saying
yeah,
like VC chains, and so still people are saying like VC can do some cheap manipulation trick to short longs and to short to liquidate short, and then they will liquidate the long. So be careful, full manipulation tokens. To which extent, I don't know whether it's on blockchain or IP. I do feel it's easier for me to understand why Berachain would goes up because of the DeFi aspect. While on IP, I have some more hard time to judge, like if I think the FDV is too high or too low in comparison to the product. But again, I think AI narrative is very strong. I'm a huge believer on AI on chain, and so yeah, very curious to see how it plays out. I don't plan to try it. And yeah, my vision on IP is like if I see very cool, exciting dApps, I will try them. But otherwise, I don't really plan to try the token.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Mo, any thoughts or comments on IP?
Nah, I don't really have like that much insight on IP, but yeah, as of like the airdrop, I don't think I got any. I didn't get any from the apps, but yeah,
Fine.
I would probably buy this around $3 maybe, $2 $3. I think now it's a bit too high.
Hmm. Yeah, the squeeze has been absolutely crazy. I think that
Yeah,
wick yesterday was just
but,
wild.
but I definitely wouldn't short it. Like they will punish every shorter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess the other one that we could talk about is yesterday's launch, which was Kaito. I mean, this is maybe I'll go on a shorter time frame just to kind of visualize this launch, but I mean, performing really, really, really well. Kaito launched. I think it dropped all the way down to 90 cents, but we're more than 2x up. Uh,
Waj, remember I told you like when it dipped below $1, I told you like I'm very tempted to long it.
yes, and did you?
No, I was too
You,
scared.
you should have texted me because I again sold the very bottom of, because I didn't sold the top on Berachain. I was just like looking at the chart going to 15 then going to 5. So I was thinking, I'm just gonna dump it straight away, Kaito, so which I did. Even if I really like the product, etc. So now that you're showing me that I missed at 2x on a nice back, I'm very, very sad. So why are you doing that to me? But as Mo was saying, I think I want to believe, and I think we had some, with the Coinbase news, we have some very nice catalysts. So I want to believe the bottom was, where we aren't very far away from the bottom. So I think in this situation, shorting in a bull market is always more riskier than longing. So I wouldn't try playing with that. I mean, some people do that and are very successful. I know somebody who was holding his Kaito while shorting it. It's also something that's way more smart. If you have a token launch, you have some tokens, just short them to edge yourself. So if next time I receive some tokens as airdrop, I think that's what I'm gonna do. But
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, again, I think it's very, very cool to see those charts going up, and I don't know how much you paid attention to the meme coin fed with Libra, etc. But people are very, even people who have no bugs are like, it's cool to see some return to quality in some ways. And yeah, whether it's IP, Berachain, story protocol, Kaito, I think it's very nice to see them going up, and I think that's going to continue. Like, I do expect new launches. I obviously like new launches of good project, but I do expect to see more and more uh good launches that don't go like straight to zero like we saw in January.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is something that I regret. I did actually sell all of mine pretty much at the start. And yeah, I'm with you on that one. And seeing the price now, ah man, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Especially they said, if you stake 75% of your airdrop, you get a badge, older badge, and so people were speculating, like, will that obviously it will probably give something, which I don't want to think about because I'm gonna cry. Uh, I think I take it as a gift. Like zero drop. I didn't expect it to get so much, and also I swapped everything to Beras because most of my apps came because of talking about Berachain, so it felt normal for me.
Hmm.
But But yeah, I think it's very interesting. This, I don't know if you remember Portal Coin in 2023. I
Yes, yes,
think.
yes, yes. I
Yeah,
do remember.
and it's really, I think, the main. I don't know how you say in English. Red line, or like the, it's. I think for me, it's some kind, like the bull market vibe, starting with Portal Coin with Social Fi. Then we had Moon at some point. Now we have Kaito, and it's always an improvement on the previous social concept, and I think that's one of the main things that was here at the start of the bull cycle, and that will maybe lead the whole bull cycle. Also, social dApps, social concept mechanism. So I'm very excited about Kaito. I'm not excited about the chart because I'm sidelined, but yeah, looking forward to what they will do, and how it will work out for them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, right now you can get paid 400% APR to long Kaito, which is just absolutely crazy. I did something really stupid when I was testing this yesterday. I opened both long and short positions, and stupidly, I only closed the long one. I left the short one, and I got liquidated. I should have left the long one because I would have made some money along the way, at least through this funding rate as well. But yeah, it's been pretty wild. Mo, any thoughts on Kaito as well? Like where do you think something like this will go?
Uh, I do think that they're building something interesting, and like it's not a new project. The project is, I think, is like 3 years old.
Yeah,
So I think they should do well. Like since the cycle is probably like AI dominated, and they're building something very cool. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they can go to like 5 billion, 5 billion FTV, or even 10 billion in the long run.
man, you are very bullish. You are very,
Yeah,
very
But yeah,
bullish.
I sold my airdrop at 1.5 the minute of the launch,
I'm
and I
very
didn't
bullish,
buy.
but I'm not holding. But I just, yeah, wanted to add that I sold also my Kaito because I felt like, not because I'm bearish on Kaito, but I was like, if Kaito is at 1 billion FDV and Berachain is at 4 billion FDV, like I think Berachain should be way higher in terms of ratio. I mean, obviously I'm over bullish on Berachain, but that's also why I swapped. I was like, okay, maybe if Kaito goes to 2 billion, for me, Berachain should be like at I don't know, 7 8 billion. Like, so. So let's see. Let's see how it goes. But I think both will perform well, and I think there's always this saying like, obviously, like, altcoin didn't perform that well so far in the cycle, but usually when altcoins perform well, you want to hold the new shiny ones rather than the old dying ones. So I think the three of them will still perform well in the next weeks, months. But my play between the three is Berachain, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, no, makes sense. I think I'm with you on that one as well. Mokus says, I always keep my bags, but this time I sold half. I regret it. I think we're all in the same boat, really.
Especially, he was writing such big tweets and thread about how he was bullish on Kaito, and he was the one that made me double think about maybe holding it.
He says he's still very bullish on Kaito,
Yeah,
which is
I
good.
mean, I'm too, but yeah, sometimes, and I think that's also why when you see what happened with Bradchain and Story Protocol, I think that's why also we sold. If Bradchain would have gone up, or just didn't went from 15 to 5, I would have probably all Kaito, but I thought, yeah, maybe it makes sense to take some profits here.
Yeah.
But I'm fine actually with these trades because I mean you can predict, you can call every top, so sometimes you just be grateful for the money you made, and I think we didn't put any dollar in Kaito, so I don't really regret so much. But yeah, looking forward to season 2 eventually. How many yaps did you get by Uzo Mokus and Mughal?
I had about 1,200 yaps.
What?
Yeah,
That's
1,200 yaps.
nice. Congrats. Yeah, cool. Very cool. I had for 400. But yeah, it was funny because you see like CBB got completely slashed. Like he had like I don't know, 2,000 yaps. I don't remember, and he got less than people with 200 yaps because he was flooding a kite on the timeline. So that was also a very curious way of doing from them, to slash people that publicly said they would sell their airdrop.
It's yeah, yeah. I think I think it's nice to have like a really rewarding kind of experience, like in the sense that you make content, you do education, or you kind of you basically you build your social profile and you get rewarded for it. I think that's like one of the great things about an airdrop like this. Mo, how, are you looking to trade anything else other than Bera right now?
No, I'm purely into like Bera and Bera coins.
Ah, I see, I see, I see. Okay, okay, okay. Bob has joined us. How's it going, sir?
Hey guys, what's up?
We were just talking about the markets right now, and kind of talking about Bera and Kaito. I think it would be nice to hear from you as well. Like, what were you doing in terms of Bera trading, in terms of Kaito and IP, and some of these new tokens as well?
Um, yeah, like you look all is good. So I'm farming right now. Like I bridge good amounts on Berachain. I'm farming some BGT because I will run for delegation and Waj is running for delegation. So I'm trying to boost him up as well. And I think like the variable pools are very interesting, like the Bex pools. And yeah, basically that's it. Like with small longs on IVX on Bera token, and basically that's it. What about you, Ika?
Yeah, as I said, like I was mostly like doing a defined dolomite and yeah, just going long on IVX with a nice entry. So now I'm just sitting and waiting for a BGT coin to come and also new Berachain coins to come out. So I think. Uh, I can wait to have like bigger market cap tokens so to be able also to trade them. Run away ramen and eat. But there's so many more to come. So and also IVX at some point. So looking forward to be able to trade the IVX token on IVX. That would be cool.
But by the way, we edited today like the entry price. So like the funding rate, you can see it in your entry price. I think you'll notice this.
My what?
So you're collecting funding rates on your longs, right? So
Yes.
you should have it like reflected somewhere. So right now you can see it reflected in your entry price. So your entry price must be down like 10% right now, easy.
Yeah, I see my open price.
Yeah, exactly. Your open price will be down, so your PNL will be much like your profit will be higher.
Okay. And so yeah, I saw you've been like getting a lot of feedback from different people regarding IVX products. So I'm curious, like what's the roadmap for you? Like what kind of eventually new coins, new features you plan to? I think did you just add Dogecoin today or?
Yeah, we added Kaito last night. So basically, we have access to the whole Binance order book. So we didn't want to like dilute it with like a lot of tokens, but like a lot of tokens are coming, and we have something else like very exciting coming specifically on chain from the perp side as well. I think you mentioned Yeet, so I will keep it like that.
Yeah, I can wait to be able to trade Yeet, Ramen Finance, and all the other tokens about to come. Yeah, and so like whether it's like as I was saying, like to be able to see your liquidation price. I think you just added a feature, no? I think estimated liquidation price.
Yes. We added it yesterday.
Okay, very cool, very cool. What's the token you're most excited about beside IVX on Berachain that you're looking forward? Whether it's Dolomite token, whether it's Enlo, whether it's Beraboro token. Like, what are you looking for the next weeks on Berachain?
I'm a DeFi person, so I like DeFi. So I think like IRED token, like from Infrared, I think because there is like this bribing stuff around like Infrared, and because right now like Infrared, they have like 1 billion, and their validator is the top validator on the all the validator sets on Berachain. So I think like they will have shit tons of power, in the Berachain ecosystem, and like eventually this will be governed by the DAO, by the token holders. So I have some positions there to farm if they will do any airdrop. I don't know if they will do any airdrop or not, but like in case they did. So I think this will be interesting. How about you?
Yeah, I think like I'm very excited about Shogun, for instance. For trading,
Yeah,
also trenches trading with their with their boat. Obviously, I think I'm very curious to see how everything we know what Olympus DAO is planning to do on Brachen. I think we'll be also very very curious to see obviously the top three I would say, like infrared IRA token, Uga Buga token, Kodiak token. I think this will bring also a lot of liquidity into the Russian ecosystem. So that's the big catalyst I'm looking for. I'm very curious to see like what will be the first one to launch, and also I don't know if you're going to East Denver, but I guess and you actually wrote that 3 hours ago, something big coming on East Denver. So where did you read that? What can you tell us about what you heard already, and what's maybe your speculation, expectation of potential announcement on East Denver and overall in the next days, weeks from the foundation?
yeah.
Uh,
Someone saying about the hack, like that's why I joined. I wanted to make sure like everyone is okay from the team. Some team members have some positions, so I told them like to go and just draw. So Ica, like I think Mantle is hacked from like the MEs, the liquid staking token. So it's 1 billion hack, I think.
It's Bybit, not Mantle.
Bybit hack on the.
Oh, Bybit is Mantle. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! This is a big, big, big man. Anyway, so Ica, I think
so which one was hacked? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Mantle.
Ah,
The
okay. Montel is hacked.
if you have something,
No, I have nothing. Just curious. Okay.
if you want to close and go check it, you can
No, no,
close.
I have nothing there on
I have,
mental. You saying?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm just curious. I was just checking their Twitter, but yeah. So you were saying, so what's your expectation for East Denver? But good to say if anybody listening has something there to check ASAP to withdraw funds. But yeah, what's your expectation for East Denver, and what were you like hinting with your tweets? Like, did you heard something? Are you expecting something, or what's your speculation?
Uh, so like all what I know is like already public opinion, okay, and already like public information. So Home joined us like 5 days ago on a space, and he mentioned something about like there'll be like a POL upgrade on the East Denver, and there will be something else on East Denver as well. So I think reward vaults will be live on East Denver, like the public announcement will be there, which is very interesting, and like all the teams will be there, and like the real cabal plays can begin like in real life. I don't know about the rebases. Like some people talked about the rebases, but like I don't know. I don't know. I'm not monitoring this at all. What do you think?
Yeah, so I've been I'm very curious to know like whether there will be some utility regarding the rebase NFTs. So regarding BGT emissions, yield, etc. So I'm still holding all my rebase, and I'm curious to know how the BGT evolves, how the BGT how do you say, like, um as a process during which more and more pools will have their own BGT reward pool. You know, I'm very curious to see how it will process. I don't know you if you can talk about it. Like, did you have to submit something? Are you waiting to be able to submit a proposal to have a vault, a BGT vault eventually for IVX? And also, I don't know. More broadly, what's your vision on how to leverage BGT on IVX?
Yeah. So for like POL itself, I think they'll open it firstly for like everyone who has like liquidity pool that they want to incentivize. So like Dolomite will be there, Kodiak will be there, IVX will be there from the zero DT product. So the zero DT product should be live like within 1 to 2 weeks, and we'll add it to a set of POL incentives as well. So everything liquidity based and like considerably like a bit good project like audit project. I think they will start with those projects. Also like this is all like already public information, but you just need to look at it. So basically like people can start bribing validators, and they can start play the game, you know, like. So I think the first thing we'll see like a bit small drop in like APR of DAX and Fed and those stuff, because like part of the inflation now will be diluted by the other projects that are joining. But it's better for the ecosystem because like all right now like the BGT will empower all the ecosystem, which means like more activity, more fees, and you know.
Okay, cool. Um, and so you say you were saying like you're a DeFi guy, so have you been like using different strategies to make your Pera works, like whether it's on Dolomite, just like pools on infrared, or did you do other kind of stuff like, I don't know, borrowing loops, lending loops? What have you been doing on chain right now so far on Berachain?
Uh, I had a big position on Bera, so like at like around 5.5, I borrowed honey, and I'm LPing there. I'm LPing on infrared and on bags. So like this is from the farming point of view, but like I'm more farming like Bera ETH, Bera BTC, Bera Honey, and the stablecoin pool. But more like mostly I'm focused on trading, like trading momentum stuff, and I'm using IBX for this, which was very lucrative. I think I made like quarter of the position only from funding last week because the funding was nuts. You know, I think you saw it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so.
What are you playing in DeFi right now?
Yeah, so I'm on mainly on Dolomite, on infrared, normal pool, and on trading on IVX. And so I'm curious to have your stance on yeah. So IBGT or BGT, you know, that's the main question. A lot of people are asking themselves whether it's on the short term or whether it's on the long term. You know, what's the strategy you're going for? And I guess I don't know if I should Waj. Do we pronounce?
Yeah, you can call me Waj. Sorry,
Waj.
guys, I had to just head off for a second. I just wanted to withdraw my funds from Mantle. I think Bob, you just mentioned the possible kind of exploit or hack. But yeah,
Yes, the founder kind of tweeted something like,
You're good. You're
yeah,
good. You managed to withdraw.
yeah, all good on my side.
okay,
Perfect.
amazing.
But yeah, I mean, this seems pretty big news. I mean, looks like pretty much everything is rugging right now. I mean, look at this red candle on ETH.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I'm assuming this is all because of this. But yeah, I mean, it's quite crazy to see like something like this. This is like number 2 exchange, and like technically like or maybe number 3 exchange after Binance and Coinbase. You know, $1.5 billion. I don't know what's happening right now. It seems I've just quickly read in a few different places is we're talking about $200 million of ETH has been sold already, but I could be wrong here.
Yeah, so yeah, it seems 1.5 billion was removed from Bybit. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So I just had to. I just remembered I personally had some funds on Mantle, and I thought, you know what? Let me quickly. I think Bob just quickly came in to save the day. Really, otherwise I wouldn't have known. Oh wait, Bob,
Yeah, no,
are you sharing your screen?
you're right. Like,
Yeah, I'm sharing what Bybit founder said.
Okay, what did he say? Bybit ETH multi-sig cold wallet just made a transfer to our warm wallet about an hour ago. It appears that this specific transaction was must. All the signers saw the must UI, which showed the correct address and URL was from safe. However, the signing message was to change the smart contract logic of our ETH cold wallet. This resulted the hacker took control of the ETH's cold wallet we signed and transferred all ETH in the cold wallet to an unidentified address. Oh my goodness me.
Man,
Wow.
this is very sophisticated hack.
And
Like it's
the
crazy.
question is, how much ETH was in this cold wallet? Can you see on the Etherscan transaction?
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion ETH has been transferred into this unidentified address. Wow. Wow. That is yeah, pretty wild to say the least. Pretty wild. Fine. Yeah, okay. If you've got some ETH or if you've got some something on Mantle or something on Bybit, you know, look after yourself. You know, try not to take any risk here when you have something like this. I think ultimately this is just another nail in the head for ETH, unfortunately. But yeah, let's see
Man,
what happens. I'd like to think hopefully they can recover a lot of this. But you know, I'm sure they're going to be working with the authorities and everything like that. 1.2 billion is a lot.
yes, it seems Zach has been like tweeting, commenting about it. But yeah, crazy it's a huge amount, and I'm not really using any sex these days. So you know, I'm also like, I don't know if you touched a bit on Infinex. Have you heard
Uh,
of it?
I haven't used Infinex properly myself yet. It's been on my checklist for a long time,
Yeah,
actually.
I opened it a few days ago, and I think I think all these on-chain alternative to sex are very, very cool. And yeah, it's been quite sometimes I didn't really use a sex. I'm everything is on-chain for me. So I just feel safer, to be honest, to be on-chain. So
Yeah. Well,
but
you see, Ika, I was on chain. I had my funds on. I had some funds on Mantle. So I mean,
yeah, yeah,
you really save everywhere. You know,
yeah,
I
sure.
just saw a really funny tweet from Taiki, which said, "Finally got my FTX payout. It's been a long 2.5 years, but glad to have the money back. Just deposited into Bybit. What are we longing?"
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have some funds there, maybe withdraw them. I think I'd like to think that things will be okay, but you know, you never know with these things, right? You know, it could reverse and actually they manage to get the funds back or whatever. But yeah,
but yeah, I think whether you know, I think it's good publicity for those for hyper liquid or for Infinix, because you know, to for this narrative of, you know, you don't need sex, you're safer on chain, etc. You can long short on IVX, you can short long on hyper liquid if you want to, like, huge size. You can long you can like just keep your money and swap on Infinix with Shogun also for cross chain stuff. So I think it's short term is maybe pain. I don't know to which extent, but also it's good bread. I don't know. That's how it's in French for all those different tabs
yeah,
products.
yeah.
So
So yeah, absolutely. Right, let's go back to Berachain. You know, I think I missed a little bit of the discussion before. I'm guessing we were talking about some other apps on Berachain, were we?
yes. So I had this question first. BGT or IBGT? Which one are you going for? I know, like, you want to seriously be on the government side. So I guess your answer will be BGT.
Yep.
Um, But yeah, what's for you with and without the government side, but like the advantages and disadvantages of going with one or the other. And if you had to bet, which one do you think would bring the most yield, like in 1 2 months?
Yeah, I think a really, really good question here. I am really wanting to put myself forward for governance within the Berachain ecosystem, predominantly because I feel like I can really help to make sure that Berachain, especially Berachain DeFi, goes in a really positive direction. I think I have a lot of experience from a lot of the other chains as well, and kind of participating in DeFi. And I think Berachain has the USP to really be the chain, the DeFi chain, the consumer app chain. It can be the chain for everyone. And so I think you have to have some people that really step up and really try to be an advocate for the chain. I think whilst I don't get any financial benefit from this, I think if I can help to make Berachain, a top chain, we all own Bera. Hopefully, it's good for our Bera bags. But I think more so than that, I'm a builder in the space. We're building IVX. I think I'd like to make Berachain up there with the likes of Ethereum and Solana in due time. And so yeah, that's kind of why I put myself up for like governance, really just to make sure that we're going in the right direction. Yeah, like I said, there's no monetary benefit for me whatsoever. It's just the case of like I'll try and be as active as I possibly can with governance and making sure that things are going in the right way. And I think maybe it helps that I'm doxed as well, but yeah, hopefully people can vouch for me, and hopefully I can support not only you guys who are watching, but also a lot of the ecosystem apps as well. So that's why I wrote this tweet. You can delegate to me here through this wallet, which is purely just a governance wallet. There's nothing else that this wallet will do other than just for voting. So what you need to do is if you do have some BGT, you can go directly to Berahub, and you can go to the governance tab and you can delegate your BGT. That doesn't mean you're getting rid of your BGT. You still own your BGT. You're just giving me the voting rights. So there's two things that you can do with your BGT. You can vote with it, or you can boost validators with it. When you boost validators, you earn yield and you earn bribe rewards and all this other stuff. And the voting is a separate part altogether. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts around it. To answer your question, more specifically about like BGT or IBGT, I think if you're a farmer and you want to maximize your ROI, maximize your returns, then it makes sense to farm IBGT, especially because there's a premium on it right now. I think it's about 40% premium. I think that's reasonable. In due time, I actually think that premium is going to go down a little bit. I think it probably, in my opinion, I think it settles at 1.1 or maybe 1.2, something like that. But of course, even that is still more ROI, like 20% more yield than farming BGT itself. So if that's something you like, then farm with IBGT, or maybe in due time some of the other LSTs around BGT. But yeah, I think for now anyway, I'm actually farming both. I'm farming IBGT because I want some exposure to infrared and I want some yield. But also I'm farming some BGT so I can get some voting power as well.
Yeah, I also think like I'm just checking the chart of BGT, IBGT. Okay, it went quite down. Like also you get exposure to IRED token. I would guess, I would speculate on, so I think that's the extra also a yield that you're not fully aware of right now by farming IBGT.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I wasn't sure that the premium would like necessarily goes down because with bribing, etc. I don't know. And with if they, I don't know how they plan to launch their token. If they plan to, like do some 2 point programs. But yeah. I was curious. Why would you explain? Why do you think the premium will go down after time? I'm curious.
I don't necessarily think it'll go super down. I just think it probably settles around 1.1 to maybe where we are right now. I don't think it should be two times or three times the value of
Ah,
Vera.
yeah, like at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I think if we look at here, like this just seems really, really high to me. I think, look, the thing is, right, the question you should be asking is, what's the benefit of iBGT over normal BGT? Because right now, in its current form, you can still earn really, really high yield from BGT by delegating it to by boosting a validator right now, and you'll earn honey rewards. I think that's equivalent to kind of what the APR that you see on infrared right now is as well. I think the main premium comes from right now the fact that A, it's a little bit liquid, and so you can kind of buy and sell a little bit. But B, kind of getting exposure to infrared and getting, maybe infrared points or iRed token or something like that in future. So I think that's like the main benefit right now, in my opinion. I don't see why the premium would be that high otherwise. Did you have something in mind on your side?
Uh, no, but this idea of let's say infrared is holding 100 BGT, and so there is 100 EBGT, and there's just like 50% stacked EBGT. Then one BGT is earning twice what one BGT would be earning.
Yeah.
So according to this thing, I was thinking maybe it could be better yield to have EBGT, but also I think the difference is like you won't control 100% where the BGT is being delegated to. I mean, for bribing rewards, while with BGT you can decide to have a very like higher risk strategy, to give to delegating your BGT to very very big APIs but more risky pools, etc. So I think it comes down to if you just want to passively get APIs, BGT makes sense. Well, BGT you like if you just go to the main BGT pools, I think it's better to have iBGT. But if you want to go to smaller pools, I think it may more sense to have BGT.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, I agree with you. I think you made a really, really good point, talking about the premium actually that you can earn from BGT from iBGT staking actually, and that's because imagine if there is a pool of like 100 BGT, and therefore 100 iBGT backing this. Not all of it will be staked. Some of it is used in Berachain, or some of it's used in like a Kodiak pool, or some of it's used in IVX. So all of the iBGT that's not being staked is not earning that reward, and so the people who do stake earn a bigger portion of that reward. Which yeah, you're absolutely right. I think this is a really, really big point, which probably we're not seeing that much just yet because iBGT isn't in any like big applications yet. Sure, there's this Bearaswap pool. But otherwise, we're still waiting for Berachain. We're still waiting for iBGT to come onto IVX as well, and all of the other, hopefully, dozens and dozens and dozens of protocols in due time. When that happens, then I think maybe the premium is a little bit higher. Then who knows? But I think that would be a really interesting point to see. Like where does it settle at?
Yeah, yeah, completely. So that's one thing I'm paying attention to. I do think also, and I think it's called Bear Drop, the website
Mhm.
for from Onijar, where you can like just get data on some NFT collection holders and give them some airdrops. I don't know if you are aware of that one.
Yes, yes, yes. It's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and so basically, I suggested I don't remember the name, but to one of the Onijar team working on that to add something regarding 10 BGC holder and 100 BGC holders, and now thinking like that's something you can't have in any other chain, which is
True.
you can always decide to let's give let's say steady Teddy's whitelist to people with more than 1,000 BGTs. Let's give
Mm,
some tokens allocation to people with BGTs. Like you can use it the same way you use an NFT, for protocols airdrop, which is how to target the core Berachain users. And you can fake BGT holdings. You can just buy it and dump it. I mean, you can dump it by redeeming it, but you can just like it's not liquid, so it's kind of proves that if you have a very very high amount of BGT that you are really into the chain, and is that's like your proof of participation, so to say. So I think that's something we are not really considering so far, and I hope some protocols will have that in mind when doing, you know, airdrops eventually to communities, or just whitelist distribution, etc.
Yeah, I
um
think that's actually a great idea because it really shows you who's been using the chain properly, right? Who's actually like there for the long run, you know? And to earn even 100 BGT, you know, you either need a significant amount of capital or you have to be farming for a long time. You know, it's not like something you can just buy straight away unless I don't know, someone created this marketplace for selling people's wallets, you know, who knows? Maybe people maybe someone will do that. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I would love to see more of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's and also that's great that you put yourself forward, like regarding government side, and I'm fully supporting that initiative, because I also think, that you've been very, very um, positive. During the whole dump and everything was crashing, and I think a lot of people were starting to doubt a bit where things were going, and you were doing some huge tweets and thread explaining your vision and why you were bullish, etc. And I
Yeah.
think it's also, very, very important to have this uh, kind of people in the ecosystem. So yeah, I think all this PGT governance, and that's why I didn't expect it branching to goes up so much yet. Like $8 before the whole flight will actually start is very surprising to me. So I think, as you said, like, back to the price action, I think it does make sense if the price consolidate now between 7 and 8, or even a bit lower. But no rush, no hurry, because like nothing is out yet. And to another subject related to the BGT, I was asking, Bob, do you have any speculation, expectation on how rebases could be used or not? That's, even before mainnet, I've been, maybe I'm dreaming, maybe it's hopium, but I've been thinking that it would make sense in some ways to use them maybe as BGT boosts, or I don't know. So yeah, do you have any speculation? And also, so Bob was saying, like, maybe there could be some news on at ETH Denver. So do you have any speculation, ideas, or just, wishes of what could be announced? So yeah, I'm curious about your vision for the next days.
That would be very, very interesting. Now, as far as I'm aware, in ETH Denver, I don't think there will be any announcement like that just yet. I think it's too early to announce anything to do with rebases. I will be in ETH Denver, so if anyone is here listening, who is going to be there, come and say hi to me. I'll uh, definitely try and get you involved with all things Berachain and IVX as well. So yeah, that'll be really, really fun next week. Yeah, what are the rebases going to be? You know, I don't know. I have some exposure. I did pick up some OG Bera NFTs. You know, just to see kind of what's going to happen next. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I think it's going to be really interesting. I would love to see some kind of mechanics around something like what you mentioned, whether it's boosting to BGT, maybe like a BGT attached to the NFT itself. You know, a whole range of kind of different things that you could have here, really. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I could be completely wrong. Uh, I think that they'll use the NFT as like a speculative thing to kind of get things kind of really exciting again. Probably maybe a few months down the line, maybe 3 to 6 months down the line. I don't think anything as such is going to happen anytime soon. But you know, that's just my thoughts right now. I think they can use it really strategically to like ignite some fire within the ecosystem. You know.
Yeah, 100%. And I like, this sentence in the, I don't know if you read that in the airdrop documentation. There was a line like, the seventh rebase will come when Berachain will need it the most. So
Mm.
very enigmatic, and like makes you wonder. Um, And I had another question. What's your vision? I don't know if you're paying attention. I'm very excited also about what Abstract is doing. With Luca from Project Penguin. It's completely different from Berachain, but there's this whole talk about, obviously, consumer crypto and more overall, how to onboard more user, which is uh, like whether it's onboarding new people, new on-chain users to Berachain. That's one thing, and also how to onboard new people on-chain through Berachain, and I think that's, for instance, Puffball. But yeah, what's your vision regarding how to onboard, first of all, new people? What will bring new people on Berachain, whether it's yield, meme coins going up, IPs, etc. Well, also regarding the subject of UI UX, do you think like the dApps are user friendly so far? And overall, how to onboard more people on chain? Curious to have your opinion about this whole discussion.
Yeah, no, I think you raise a really, really interesting point there. Look, I think chains like Abstract are trying to do new things. I really like the idea of like the streaming stuff that they're doing as well. Especially because I like to make a lot of educational content, video content as well that I make. So yeah, something like streaming, I'm always down for. I love to stream. So I think like this is really nice because it gets kind of it definitely gets more people on board for sure, and like lots of people can kind of tune in. Like right now, you know just us two here, we've got almost 1,000 people that are like watching us right now. So yeah, I think like stuff like that is really, really good. um I think in general, like what's going to bring people, like new people into crypto and maybe through Berachain. Look, Berachain, in my opinion, has two things that I think really help it stand out. One of them is the DeFi stuff, and one of them is the consumer app stuff. And the consumer app stuff is pretty crazy, right? Like you mentioned Puffpaw, which I think lots of people outside of crypto can really appreciate and enjoy. But it's not just that, right? There's also stable hold, which are tokenizing these racehorses, so you can kind of get exposure to a racehorse, and maybe the breeding and yield from that. You have stuff like Pulse, which is like the digital health wearable where you can like do exercise and earn through monetizing your health data.
Do you have it's on Berachain?
Yeah,
I'm not aware of Pulse. That's why, like, if you
yeah.
can.
Let me pull it up. Do, do, do. Yeah, here you go. These guys, Pulse, your health data. They're going to be built. They're going to be launching on Berachain as well. They're in the they are in the Berachain builders chat. So I think it's nice to nice to see like consumer stuff like this. As I mentioned, there's also a stable hold, which is the tokenized race horses, which I think are really, really, really interesting. There's also something called over under. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know.
for gaming, I think it's betting on gamers, right?
Yeah, right. Like imagine like someone's doing a stream, a Twitch stream. They're playing Call of Duty or FIFA or something like that, and you can like have prediction markets on top of this. These weird and wacky ideas. There's a lot more of these as well. I just named 4 of them. These consumer kind of applications, also gaming and social apps, kind of come in hand here as well. Uh, I think like something like Baritone as well. Like these kind of social or consumer applications, I think can really get a lot of people into Berachain. And these guys will eventually end up using DeFi protocols as well for savings or lending or stuff like that. But I think like the true answer is, right, if I go on the street right now and I just meet someone on the street, it might be a little bit tricky for me to get them to start trading 0DTE options on IVX straight away, right? But it might be a little bit easier for me to get them to play this game, or for them to sign up to this social media on Berachain, or for them to like maybe if they're a smoker, yeah, why don't you try this Puffpaw, see what you think? Okay, I think those kind of things can definitely get people on board, and once they get on board, then it's much easier to kind of showcase the rest of the ecosystem. But I think consumer apps are going to be really, really key for this. And Berachain is like definitely going to be a hub for these kind of consumer apps as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Really, I think more of that. I think one thing that Berachain also does really well is the education or the content or the entertainment side of things as well, where you have people making videos, people through memes, through education, also through just general entertainment. I think stuff like that is really, really cool. And I'm going to try my best to also help with this. I just ordered a new vlogging camera, so next week when I'm in Denver, I'll try and do some fun Berachain themed vlogs and stuff like that.
Are you coming to East CC or Bera Milano?
I'll try to come to Cannes for sure because it's not too far from me. So
Ah, from nice.
yes, I'll try in summer.
Nix, because Nix is from Cannes, so you want to organize something there.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
I'm always down. I'm always down.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think one thing which is quite complicated is how to explain BGT, proof of liquidity, without scaring people away. Like I did that with French Space yesterday. Talking about Berachain overall. And so people were like, yeah, but what's this big yield? Is it like something like Luna, Terra Luna, because there was some huge yield on stable coins? And
Mm.
you talk about BGT stacking. You need to stake your LP tokens to get BGTs, and you can also get like liquid BGTs and etc. It's quite actually complicated,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of ways to, because I think there is maybe a way to make it simpler in the explanation, but at the end of the day, it's still a very complicated mechanism, and that's why it's interesting, because it's complicated. So I'm thinking like, uh, whether it's just people don't need to know about it, it's like they could just vibe and get some BGT eventually, or how to make it even like easier for people. I know there is some. I think Onijara is trying to do something set and forgetty. I don't know if it's related also to BGT, etc. But yeah, what's your take on that? Like, do you think at the end of the day, like POL is not something everybody needs to understand to be on to thrive on blockchain, or uh, it's just that it's not that the main aspect of POL is not that complicated, but we just need to find a way to explain it in a easy to understand way.
Yeah, no, I think you really, really interesting point there. I mean, the question is, does everyone need to know what POL is? No, I don't think so. If you go on Ethereum mainnet or if you go on Solana, is everyone there like staking their assets? No, a lot of people hold Sol and they don't stake their Sol, and ultimately that's kind of what the mechanism around BGT is, right? It's like staking assets to earn additional yield. So look, I think, but even if you take some of these apps on Berachain and put them on like another chain, they'll still do really well. For example, something like Puff right? If it was on Base or Solana, I'm sure it'll still do really, really well. Same thing with like, let's say IVX, right? We don't actually like BGT is an extra additional unique benefit that I think really helps all of the applications stand out. But all of these applications can do just fine, kind of if they were just kind of on other chains as well. I think BGT makes them extra special, which is the good thing about it. Is BGT a little bit complicated to understand? It is. It is. And I think in due time, what we'll see is kind of some abstractions away from that. Maybe, maybe that we kind of have like one click, kind of exposure to BGT. Like you click once and your LP token gets staked automatically and gets claimed automatically to your wallet. Like you don't even have to do anything. Maybe we see like some AI agents that are able to do that for us. When we get to that stage, I think all of it can be abstracted away. You'll just see it as like rewards. You'll just have like a rewards tab, and you'll just have like the number will just go up over time. You don't have to necessarily go and choose the validator and do this and do that and whatnot. I'm sure a lot of this stuff will get abstracted away in due time, to make it simple for like new people coming. But I love like the game theory and the decisions that you have to make with BGT. Like you said, I think that's part of the beauty of it, really, in my opinion. I think probably I think one thing to note as well is that there's been a lot of changes with the Bera and BGT and the validators and all of this stuff recently. So I'm going to guess that over the next 3 to 6 months there will be lots more education, lots more simplification. There are people like you and people like myself will obviously be doing a lot of education and content, and maybe we can kind of frame things in a much more simpler way. I think also like now that it's live in production, it's way more easier for people to kind of figure it out by trying, right? And over time, more people will try and more people will get used to it. And eventually, in like 6 months' time, or maybe in 12 months' time, I think it'll be pretty normal for a lot of people to try something like this. It's like maybe like 5 years ago, when you first started using a wallet and you first started using Uniswap. man, it's so complicated. What the hell is this? Like LP, like depositing token, like what is all of this mean? What is staking? Now it's kind of like second nature. Like you just one clicks and you can stake your assets. One click, you can LP your assets. Very, very straightforward. I think something like BGT will feel like that in 12 months' time. It's like, oh yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's not that bad. Right now, it's something new, novel. Takes a bit of time for all of us to understand and appreciate. But I'm very confident in the future it won't be like that.
Yeah, I think I was exactly thinking about this yesterday. Like I was stacking opening pools, and I was like needed to do another transaction to stake the LP, and because it was on my ledger, I was like, "Fuck, why
Mm,
does it take 10 minutes to do this small thing?" And as you said, like to be able in one transaction to stake the pools and the LPs, for instance. So that's just small details that will make everything like easier to use, etc.
yeah.
um, and I don't know if you're aware of Cami from Berachain.
Gummy.
Cami,
Oh, Cami. Yes, 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 yes.
yeah.
Of course, of
So
course.
yeah, because she was. I think it's interesting because you were talking about abstraction, and so she wrote an article which I find interesting. It was saying like something like on-chain abstraction is like communism, in the sense that at the end of the day, people like brand. You don't only like iPhone because of the features, but because of the brand. You
Yeah,
don't only like Mercedes because of the car features, but just you like the brand, and so the complete abstraction. Um, is like communism because at the end of the day people will also use chains because they love the chain, not only because of the features,
yeah. Agree.
like so I think it's very interesting because that's not what I would say the most commonly it's what I would call a hot take in the overall crypto ecosystem, because we're hearing a lot of about about abstractions. And and I will turn it into a more longer question is, also the bear branding on blockchain. I was thinking like, do also we need all NFTs, all games be bear related to be 100% on in the brand vibe, or do you see expanding blockchain like ecosystem being like bigger other IP which are not really bear related? All the NFTs so far are quite related to bears. So what's your views on Kami's stance regarding abstractions, and also it's fine abstractions, but you also successful chains will also be the brand. So you could summarize like that: the brand is a chain is a brand.
Yeah.
And regarding the bear branding, do you think like how do you think it will evolve? Do you think in some ways it could also like make people not want to join because they may think it's just I think for bears, like it's very narrowed branding. So what's your views on blockchain branding as a whole?
Yeah, no, I think you raise a really, really good point, actually. I think, first of all, I think everything in crypto, like, is becoming brandified. I think we all have affinities to different protocols and projects and chains and NFTs. And I think this is just a natural human connection or emotion that we all have to things. This is normal. This is kind of how I expect everything in crypto to be. It's like, we all have our favorite meme coins, or we have our favorite chains that we like to use, even though there might be technically a much better chain out there, a chain that's faster, or is more efficient, or has better yields, or something like that. There's always going to be something like that, but I think that's just normal human nature, really. um I think when it comes to like Berachain, like, I think the branding is what's really attracted so many people to come. Does it limit it a little bit? Maybe it does. I'm really intrigued to know what it was like for the Berachain founders to raise capital from all of those VCs when they go into the pitch and they're like, oh, so we're a chain and we have a bear on it. I really wonder kind of what that was like, but it seems like they were able to raise from all of these top VCs. And if they were able to do that, then I don't see why other people wouldn't like wouldn't want to come to Berachain in future. There can be some technicalities and challenges with that, but I think that's part of the journey, right? I think the same could be said for like IVX and the way that we do branding, right? Some people like it, some people might not like it at all, but I think like the it's quite important to your long-term vision, right? That your branding aligns with your users and your future growth as well. And I'm sure Berachain uh like appreciate and understand this. I'm sure you do as well, with Cave, for example. Like your branding and your vision like aligns with the types of users that you want to be on your chain as well. So I think maybe it will evolve over time, as the chain grows. And maybe we're already seeing glimpses of that already, but yeah, I think this is just the natural evolution of everything. And yeah, I think this is pretty normal
Mm.
across crypto, actually.
And yeah, I would be curious actually, like, why or when did you decided to build on Berachain, and did you first fell in love with Berachain before having this idea of building IVX, or did you first wanted to build IVX and then you were looking for a chain? Like, what was the process both for what's your story, your origin story regarding Berachain, and what's your story regarding IVX? And,
Yeah. I don't think many people actually know this story, but so IVX started before any sort of Berachain testnet or anything was out. And so actually originally IVX was supposed to be an Arbitrum protocol. And before we actually deployed anything whatsoever, before, like, whilst we were still build our focus originally was just building the product, right? But we were planning to, and the product was very, very, very different to what we have right now. It had like delta hedging and a whole range of other stuff, right? The design was very different. Um, and what we like whilst we were building, and this was back in 2023, we noticed that these NFT collections are now building a chain, aka Berachain, and we started studying POL in a lot of detail back then. So this was about 2 years ago from now. Um, Maybe a bit longer than 2 years actually. And we fell in love with what Berachain offered. We thought Berachain was going to be the DeFi chain, and so we just decided to basically forget about everything related to Arbitrum. It was a tough decision. Bob and myself were thinking about this for about 2 weeks straight, every single day. We were like making a list of like the pros and cons of every single chain and like what we should do. And we found, like, the type of product that we're offering, the types of users on Berachain, the effects through POL, the support from the foundation, and all of this stuff played a really, really crucial role in us deciding to go for Berachain. And so, yeah, then we decided to go all in on Bera, and yeah, after that, it was that's where our Bera journey started. But this was a long time ago. We were still like developing the product back then, and yeah, it's crazy because back then, like, I don't think either of us had the vision of what Bera would be today. Maybe we had a little bit of an idea of it, but I don't think we could possibly picture it. Especially because we were in a bear market as well back then. Bitcoin was like 20K or 25K dollars. Like it was nowhere near 100K, and so, like, the market was gloomy. Like, we didn't know if, like, there was going to even be demand for this sort of product or something, but we believed. And I think so far it's been a really, really good decision, and I don't have any regrets.
So you've been like, you've been part of this generation of beras that was waiting for mainnet for years actually.
Yes, we have been waiting for years. Actually, it's been a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is, so about maybe over around 2 years ago, maybe even longer than that, I made a video on everything that you need to know about Berachain. And like in that video, like, I covered like a bunch of different projects building on Berachain. A lot of them like pivoted or went elsewhere, but there's still a few that were from all the way back then. This is 3 years ago almost, that are like live now, like Goldilocks, for example, and Beradrome. Like, they are like the OG protocols of Berachain. And yeah, it's actually so nice to see, like, not only ourselves but all of the other ecosystem protocols that we're building with us, kind of where they are now. I think it's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, definitely. And uh, so my first experience with version was during the RTO testnet, the first day of RTO, where nothing was working.
Yeah,
So
yes.
I really remember the first dapps, and yeah, it's a nice uh, I would say transition to my next question, which is like, uh, first of all, like, are you looping on Bradrom? Are you using Bradrom? I've started. I'm quite late to the party, but I've started to do some looping a few days ago. Um, and
I'm opening up Berachain to look at what the yields are like right now because
yeah,
last time I remember there is one really interesting one, and it's with Reservoir. I don't know if you saw this one. So I think this
uh,
is the one. This is the one that's most interesting to me. This second pool right now. I also like the wrapped bearer yeet one
mm,
as well, but for me, this one is the most interesting one because this is a stablecoin pool offering 91% APR, and you don't see that high yield. I mean, this is higher than all of the bearer hub pools. Of course, there's different risk. There are some additional factors to take note of, but yeah, this one is looking very, very interesting to me. But I guess I'm gonna be diluting everyone, which everyone's gonna be mad at me for. But I like this one a lot.
I mean, either it's you or either it's Kevin, which is going to like tweet them. So in any way, it's gonna be diluted. But yeah, interesting one. No, I was talking about like swapping, like buying barrel and like stacking them into eBarrel, this flywheel, and yeah, and more globally, like what's so we all know Dolomite, we all know Infrared, we all love them. What's the next dApps is that you're either already using the most, or that you're looking the most, or expecting the most? Whether it's through the TGE, there's as I tweeted a few days ago, like there's a lot of tokens coming on. Um, so yeah, what are you looking forward for the next days, weeks on
Mm.
Berachain?
Yeah, so I think in terms of like underrated protocols, I think Drum's definitely one of them. Goldilocks is another one for sure. That's very, very underrated right now, and I think in due time people will see like some of the interesting things that you can do through their vaults, Goldie vaults, and yeah, and when people see how good the yields are there, then and the rewards, and people will start talking about it a little bit more. There's Vase as well, which I think is really under the radar, and yeah, Nomad, the founder, is doing a great job with educating everyone on POL. But yeah, his protocol, I wouldn't fade that one. So yeah, very excited for that. I think otherwise, a lot of stuff has now deployed. There's BGT Market, which I think it will be really interesting to see, like another kind of marketplace for how you can buy or sell direct BGT. That's going to be really, really interesting. Uh, I'm trying to think like what else off the top of my head. I think those are some of the main ones for now. Of course, there are other protocols as well. That tons and tons of protocols. I did a tweet today of like 50 different protocols coming or on Berachain in DeFi specifically. And then I think the consumer apps and the gaming apps and stuff like that, I'm pretty excited for. And there should be some fun meme coins in due time as well. Henlo from the Honey Jar and a few others as well, which should be coming in due time. So yeah, excited for all of that. You have TGEs, like Henlo, of course. Hopefully eventually we'll have IVX TGE, but we'll also have Ooga Booga TGE, and some of these other Kodiak TGE. Man, there's a lot of cool stuff that I think is on the horizon. And
Are you training in the trenches a bit, like trying to? I mean, there's not so much launches compared to Solana, so there's not like so many things to do, but there's still a few token launches,
Yeah,
So
no, to be honest with you, I haven't been in the trenches that much. I've seen some of the coins. I saw, Blast, Barra Blast. I saw Jani. I saw BM. I saw Bonga, and even today I saw Honey is Money. But like, when I play around with this sort of stuff, I play around with just pocket change. Nothing serious whatsoever,
yeah, just for
just for
for
fun.
fun. Yeah, I think that's also sometimes just buying to be part of the journey, like uh because it's even if you just have a very very small bag, at least if you 10x, you're part of the vibe. You're not just completely sidelined. So also
Yeah,
Yeah, just
absolutely, absolutely. So I think yeah, there's definitely something interesting with some of them. I think they're fun. You know, you can maybe you can make a bit of money. Maybe in most cases for me, I lose money, but yeah, it's good. I think like everyone loves to play around a little bit with meme coins anyway. So yeah, it's not too bad overall. How
yeah.
about yourself? Anything specific that you're looking forward to?
So beside IVX token, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything else? Anything else?
No, but as you were saying, I think like obviously Steady Teddy's NFT launch will be very interesting
Oh yes, of course, of course.
to monitor. I've been I've been Beradrum pilled by AZ, especially on Beradrum, so I've been
Good,
buying etc.
good.
And I know I'm top blasting his bag because he entered like during the crash of Berachain, and he was like telling me, "I'm looping on Beradrum, I'm looping on Beradrum."
Yeah, I'm just
uh,
looking now. It's 7 million market cap.
yeah, yeah. So I think he entered quite early on,
Mm.
and I'm just top blasting his bag. So, but yeah, I think Baradrom will be very interesting. I'm playing the bullish game also. I don't know if you know from Buddhas.
Yep, yep.
Uh, so I'm playing. I like all this also gamified, defied stuff. But yeah, otherwise regarding the bigger tokens, obviously, I think a lot of people um, are forgetting that Berachain TG was one thing, but then you have also ecosystem TG, whether it's Ooga Booga, Kodiak, um, obviously Enlo, IVX, etc. Like I don't have any information of the distribution of IVX, but also with the RFA, I'm like, if you have to hold bearers and you get like great funding rates, why not just go long on a DApp, and see what's happened? Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we're
but
still designing. I'm still in the process of designing like the exact RFA allocation for IVX. I'll try and make it interesting and fun, and not just as boring and vanilla as you often see with some other incentives. But yeah, I'll keep you updated, and all of you who are watching right now updated with that. But I think the plan is with the RFA, it's a 6 month program, so
okay, yeah,
it'll be a
just
long
because
time.
I had this question because I was thinking like I don't think a lot of big protocols already started RFA distribution, so
No.
I was thinking, did you got some, like guidelines regarding when to start it, or it's just like nobody is ready to launch it, and yeah, so it's you will have to distribute the RFA until the like before a given date, which is somewhere in the 6 months, right?
So as far as I'm aware, there's no given date that they have to be distributed by. So I think if like it could be longer, but I think it shouldn't be all in like 1 month or 2 months. It should be kind of a bit more long term. Yeah, we don't have a specific date that things need to start by, but I think for us, we want to launch 0 day options as well, and then kind of we can have incentives across both perps and options then as well. Also, I think everyone is, all of the better teams are traveling to Denver. So I think, for the next week, maybe things will be a bit quiet, but maybe once everyone is back, then all of the activity probably starts then.
And I'm sure also you everybody is gonna try to like, what are you doing with your AFA? What's your tokenomics? So to say, like, what's your plan?
Yeah.
And let me get inspired because I'm sure obviously it's and there was some very very nice RFA allocation. So obviously it's a lot. So it will be very important to have some, as you said, like gamified, interesting ways to incentivize people to join. And I was talking with a friend which is really grinding every chain, every dApps, etc. Who already did a whole list of all the protocols on Berachain with RFA allocation, was like writing down what daily tasks can I do here and there, and like he's prepared to to play the game, and he's on the starting line. But yeah, this also as we were saying earlier, like about the catalyst, this catalyst didn't start it yet, so I'm very very excited about playing the game and seeing how all the different teams will use RFA to boost their dApps.
Yeah,
This
exactly, exactly. I mean, there's 117 apps, so there'll be lots of rewards. You know, if you like DeFi, if you like trading, if you like lending, if you like dexes, if you like consumer apps, if you like gaming, if you like AI or DeepIn, like there'll be something for you across all sectors, really.
yeah, completely. So that's gonna be. I wonder, like, maybe could make sense to, I don't know if you thought about it, like eventually to wait for BGT pool to do both RFA and BGT like at the same time, or maybe start with RFA. Did you thought about the timing regarding like waiting eventually for BGT emissions, or
So I think in our case, we are well. Our focus right now is to launch option product first, and I think by then, hopefully, we have designed all the mechanics around the incentive program. I think we probably let's see how quick it takes for us to get reward vault set up as well. I think if we can do it quickly, that would be great. And yeah, I think there's lots of we're very open-minded, right? So if there's some interesting things that we can do where people can earn both Bera and VGT together, that would be really cool. Maybe we have kind of a combination or of like Bera being used in other ways within the IVX ecosystem as well. Uh, but yeah, we're still everything is still in design phase right now. So yeah, I think probably a little while to go. I wouldn't say that it's going to come in the next week or two. Might be a little while longer than that. I think we have to um, launch everything to do with 0 day options. By then, hopefully, maybe a few weeks down the line, we see reward vaults open up, and then everyone needs to get a governance kind of proposal done so that we can get these reward vaults opened. And then yeah, then obviously the work comes with the validators, right? Working with validators, making sure that they're able to send BGT to our whitelisted vaults as well. So there's a lot of moving parts to it. I'm sure it will come in due time, but I don't want everyone to just expect it like next week or the week after. It might take a little while longer than that, but it will come. It will come.
yeah, I mean, if you consider that the bull run is not over, as like a lot of people are saying, there is still, I think there is quite still time for all the Berachain catalysts to come to play, and again, that's why I think to have such a strong chart when nothing has been launched yet, like so to say, obviously, like still we're still a lot of taps to come, and etc. I think that's very promising for Berachain.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a very very fun time. I think for the next 6 months actually are going to be really really interesting. Even if you don't have exposure to any specific asset, maybe you just have stable coins, right? Even with stable coins, there's lots of cool things to do, and yeah, I think it'll be good. But yeah, let's see. Of course, I'm a bit mindful of the time now, so I think maybe we should kind of wrap things up. Any last things that you wanted to talk about, Ika?
No, I think we covered everything. Again, like I was gonna say maybe there was an opportunity to buy the dip, but I think the dip was already assets have been recovering pretty well so far.
Yeah,
The Bybit dips.
yeah.
So curious to see how this story will unfold. But yeah, I don't think it's a huge issue for the market overall. I think it's gonna maybe take a few days to recover. But yeah, let's see how this news unfolds. And regarding Berachain, very very excited about the next steps, and I will be waiting and expecting your recap about East Denver, please,
Yes, yes, yes.
or a recap, or your videos. Like how do you say, like
Yeah, I need to go pick up this new camera that I just bought, and I'll do some vlogs. It'll be good fun.
exactly, yeah, vlogs. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
expecting an East Denver vlogs from IVX.
yeah. No, no, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'll make sure. I think Kevin and myself, I think we're getting the same flight, so we'll be together anyway.
Oh,
It'll-
amazing! He's from England too. He's living in
yes,
England.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Yes. I think also it would be great just for you to kind of share a little bit about Cave very, very briefly before we finish. So there's there's hundreds and hundreds of people who are still watching right now. Maybe
Yeah.
some new members for Cave potentially.
Yeah, so basically, we created Cave. It's a community, open community, right now, through notably Telegram, where so these basic ideas, like we're not like the Berachain OGs, like we weren't like holding the rebate since 2021, so we've been on in every other chain, and I'm also not what you would call a chain maxi, so I'm very interested and excited about what's going on Abstract, Base, Solana, AI agent trends, meme coin, Solana, etc. And so we wanted to have this community, this open community, which is obviously focused on blockchain, but first to onboard people on Berachain in a way which is both education on PUL, but also just left curve onboarding, which is like what meme coin can you buy, what's the news of the day, what's the alpha of the day. So just also a place for people to degen, to connect together, to network, and also to have like obviously some opportunity, whether it's on NFTs whitelist, but also just again, like when there's a pre-sale, when there is some different ways to get exposure to different assets on blockchain. And also, yeah, so with Nix also, which is doing a lot of content creation on Twitter, myself also to help build mindshare and education on Berachain as a whole. So it's, yeah, both this idea of onboarding people to Berachain, to have applies just to vibe, to connect with people, to degen and to trade also. So if you want to share your what you're buying or what's your trading plan on IVX, you can also just share that in the Telegram. And also again, like to build mindshare and build the community of the whole Berachain ecosystem. That's, yeah, that's overall the goal of Cave. And yes, so far it's been very very great experience also, to to be able to connect with so many builders, traders, also DeFi wealth. I think everybody is very very friendly, so that's very cool. Also, just to sometimes just vibe, with people and connect. And I'm not gonna be able to join on East Denver, but also to start like spamming nonsenses in a Telegram or Discord chat, and then you end up meeting the people and sharing a beer URL. So that's the fun part about on-chain, right? The on-chain life. Start like just to spamming nonsenses, to trade and get tracked together, and maybe end up like eating together, whether it's at East Denver or at Cannes, etc. So yeah, very very welcoming place, and more and more people are coming to Berachain, which is very cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I think with that, everyone who's watching, make sure you are following Ikai. Some fantastic content that he makes, and I think lots of valuable insights there, not only from himself but also from Cave and the rest of the team there. So make sure you check them out. I think there's lots of fun to be had with them, but also lots of education and lots of alpha as well. And I think that's one thing that we all love to hear. So yeah, with that, I just want to say, thank you for spending the last couple of hours with us. I think it's been a real pleasure. It's been really fun having you on the show, and yeah, maybe we'll do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, with pleasure, with pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm glad your phones are safe from Bybit.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank
And
goodness.
looking forward how it will all unfold. And yeah, with pleasure to do other spaces together at some point.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%, absolutely. And for all of the hundreds of people who decided to spend your Friday afternoon or evening with us, you're crazy. But also, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. It's been lovely to have all the familiar names here: Magic Jammer and Lena and Timmy, and all of you guys here that I can see have been really commenting a lot and dropping your messages as well. It's been great to have you along with us. We'll be back again next week, next Friday, again for another episode of the Weekly Vol. Maybe not Friday, actually. I need to see what my calendar is looking like because I'll be in Denver. But we'll keep you updated. Maybe next week we might have a slight difference in time zones as well. Well, we'll keep you updated anyway. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys tuning in. Come and check us out. Make sure you check Cave out as well. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Have